reminds us, we talked about hyper-specialization in our last segment with Gary Arford. And in real estate, certainly there are other big segments that people can specialize in. And, well, first of all, welcome, Christopher. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Happy to have you. You've been among the top producing agents in Washington. And, a lot of people think, well, real estate market's getting hot. Now they want to think about investing in real estate as opposed to when it was cold.
Absolutely.
And, there's some opportunities that people may not have considered.
Right.
What are some of those?
Some of the great opportunities that are out there right now are the auction opportunities. Being able to have the knowledge and the foresight to see where that auction is going to take today's economy is really bringing back the market and helping the prices in the neighborhoods. And with that, actually helps increase the ability for more people to be able to invest and make a lot of equity potential.
And so to talk about, let's just take a step back. What is the auction?
Well, Gary tapped on it when he was talking about where you can do something good yourself, or you can have somebody that's really great at one area and do that well for you, such as you don't change your own engine in your own driveway, or you don't drill your own teeth.
I'm still reeling from that.
Or classical music. Having the opportunity of how that market exists, where banks are taking back an amazing amount of properties, people that are in unfortunate positions, those banks are then allow that auction opportunity to people that can purchase at the auction cash. Take that property that typically needs a range of work ranging from $750 worth of just cleanup to $58,000 to $100,000 in remodel. And if done right and done correctly, you essentially have the lowest price home on the block in the nicest condition. And that creates this ideology of people to be able to come in and use today's interest rates, which Ryan will talk about, or in the high 3s, low 4s, and be able to purchase a great property and still have equity potential for years to come. So they're not buying at full market value. They don't have to wait 6 months to a year to buy a short sale to get a great deal. They can actually utilize the auction opportunity for that to exist. It really is a great fundamental portal for people to become very wealthy in today's market. And what I've seen lately I'll just utilize just one client as a great example. $50,000 remodel, put these properties back on the market. Now, these properties are absolutely in just ideal condition. So it ranges from people being able to come in and buy what feels to them as a brand new home over the other 10 or 12 that they've exhausted on the MLS, and buy just this amazing property. Now, what I typically get is multiple offers over a weekend, ranging anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000 over asking price. And so it creates this excitement in the market, people knowing that the market's moving, and that these kind of properties are really a great investment, not just for the investors purchasing for them at the auction, but also for the buyers that have really exhausted the amount of properties that are out there right now.
So are you finding then a lot of people, the investors then are going to the auction, buying foreclosures?
Yes.
And they're getting good deals because they can do it.
Absolutely.
And then essentially we're kind of back into this place of flipping.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. It really works well. Now, you've tapped on the idea of flipping, and that's typically where a lot of money really exists. But when you range the opportunity of how the auction can help really anybody in a financial or even a non-financial position, somebody that doesn't have, say, a lot of money can find somebody that has the cash, or maybe they're property rich, cash poor, vice versa. We see a lot of LLCs and partnerships come up where they'll be able to come to us, ask us for the advice, and be able to set them up essentially in a real estate planning position, very much like Gary plans for your retirement. And where we realize that 80 to 90% of millionaires in this country have become millionaires based on the portal of real estate, we help them understand how a 5-year plan can help them not only just own several pieces of property, but set themselves up for the opportunity for their family to be taken care of. So what they'll do is they'll come to us. We'll help them with the research, the data, the analysis to purchase a correct property. And again, that's the difference between doing something good and something great. There's many
the concept of the correct property.
Correct, absolutely. You can go to the auction and just buy a property and just hope that you've made a great deal, but you didn't
Good
realize.
Financial plan, Gary. I'll tell you, hope.
Absolutely. Hope and pray is great. Hail Marys work, but they work very minimal time. The opportunity of buying the correct property is a lot of years' experience behind what we do. And
can you hit on what maybe one or just a few of those key components of the correct property are before we go to break?
You bet, absolutely. We're looking at properties that will either be what's called a good flip or a good turn, and that's a property that's or maybe even a hold property. Somebody that's going to look and buy this property is a great rental. A great property, a good property, will be one that has the ideal characteristics of its location, one that we know that will, when we do the work to the property, that it will substantially stand out far above the remaining competition. And one that we know that there's not a lot of surprises that we can see. You know, we not only drive the property, but we look at the tax history, we look at liens, whether they're ranging from mechanics liens to IRS liens, and just basically everything that goes into it, whether it's got a renter in it, an owner, or if it's empty. And, you know, a lot of those things go into correcting or making the correct choice. Again, you can just go out and just blast a property and hope that you're going to make money. But a lot of those people end up in my backyard asking me, hey, we've done it. We've seen other people do it. Can you help us do it right?
So, if somebody wants to come do it right, what are the steps to get involved?
You know, having the opportunity, just sitting down with me and going through essentially kind of like a plan specialist or a blueprint of what they want to exist in their life. You know, how many properties do they want to buy? How much money do they have? How motivated are they? I'm really right in this economy right now. Motivation and determination are the biggest key assets of becoming successful. I can give somebody like you a great property and say, this is a fantastic opportunity. Do you want to take advantage of it? And if you're a little timid or you're not quite sure how to pull that trigger, or you're thinking, how can you do it yourself? You're going to miss out on the opportunity where I'm going to hand it to someone else and they're going to go make $50,000, $60,000 in equity because they had the opportunity, the motivation to go ahead and take that step forward. People are afraid of what they don't know. And that's why you don't ever really want to do something that you're afraid of or don't know. Do it yourself. You always want to have a professional be able to take care of that. Someone that's done it 1,000 times. Someone that knows the ins and outs of the business and is the best way to take care of you professionally.
There are so many unforeseen circumstances that you can find yourself in when you don't work with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, I imagine people can get themselves in a lot of trouble when they're dealing with a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 investment that doesn't go well.
I've seen people buy a property, like you had mentioned themselves, try to tackle it. They don't have the resources. They don't have the contractors. They don't know the ins and outs, the time that it would take. They don't realize in the back of their mind that the hard money is still chewing up time or in costing them a lot of extra money. And they don't realize they don't have the time to do it. It ruins marriages. I've seen people have excellent credit, and after one great flip, trying to do it themselves, they let that property go back to bankruptcy, and they have no more money left.
I mean, maybe not only are they buying the property, and then they're trying to fix it up themselves too, I would think.
Absolutely. It's really no different than a new couple wanting to buy their first home, thinking they're going to get a great deal and buying a fixer-upper. That couple will never stay married because I guarantee you, it's just the amount of stress that goes into that relationship, having to fix up a house. So, you got to do it right. You got to do it correct. And when they come to me, I'm not only qualifying them in who they are, I'm qualifying what they can do and their motivation. And there are some clients I won't work with because I can't. I can't take someone and make them become successful. I have to take somebody that wants to become successful and guide them and show them what I've done in my education.
Perfect. Well, Christopher, thanks so much for joining us again. Christopher Gough with the Gough Group. And, finding investments in real estate, it's a unique way of doing it, and thanks so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, when we come back, Ryan Leopold's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about why people think mortgages are so hard, but the truth to why it's been so difficult to get those transactions done these days. My name's Ben Brash, and that was Christopher Gough. We'll be right back after this break.